You might be a monster. Here it is. Now for our feature presentation. That means it's longer, but it really isn't. You just got to move the pages faster. Okay. Bar. I'm a monster, I growled the worst awful sound, and jumped on my messy bed, turned it into garbage mound. And when I colored my sister Harriet's head green by replacing her shampoo with army camouflage cream, I shouted, I'm a monster, I rampage and eat. Order was my super sworn enemy, which I had to defeat. But my parents didn't listen and grounded me good. Like good moms and dads to bad children should, I needed to convince them to transform complete. So I painted my face blue and glued claws up to my feet. Grabbing Harriet's stuffed dragon, I ripped off its tail and attached it with a string before starting to wail, exposing my teeth, which I brushed to a monstrous polish. Our house was a playground for me to demolish. Turn the page. All right. But Gustav's so innocent, my parents refused to believe. Our Gustav wouldn't hide such a horrible lie up his sleeve. I'm a monster, I tell you. I growled as I chewed on the new sofa's pillows as if they were my food. My parents thought, my gosh, what if? Maybe he's right. Get the phone book at once. Leave on the porch light. Let's call in an expert before our poor Gustav Delight transforms into a full-blown monster tonight. Not 5 minutes later, I heard screeching truck wheels, a knock on the door, and the odd stomp of tiny boot heels. In walked the strangest oblong-faced man with gigantic trifocals, extra-large clipboard in hand. His tool belt carried bizarre scientific contraptions like macroscopic tweezers with kung fu grip action. There were chopsticks and rulers and beeping devices sporting comfort fit handles tagged with discounted prices. You must be the specimen. You like that voice for him, maybe? Okay, all right. It's a little, stereotypical for a weirdo. All right. He must be the specimen, or rather Gustav Delight, whose behavior has made this house a most toxic waste site. Your parents required my services for maximum wage. To see if you're truly a monster, he's in need of a cage. How long have you been a monster, my little specimen G? It started slowly, I growled, but I'm 100% monster, see? It appears you seem monster-ish upon my first inspection, but I won't know, he smiled wide, without further dissection. On first glance, you're but a child with a tail making an ugly sight. But this checklist of mine will see if something's not totally right. It's made especially for rude children in shoddy costumes who pretend to be monsters to avoid cleaning their rooms. Let's go with that list. Do you chew with both your mouths open? Cubes. Now let me see. Are there 100 empty tooth sockets where 100 teeth used to be? Do you have eyeballs in places where one shouldn't look? Like over here and over there and under there. And all your friends, the villains from dusty fairy tale books. Best friends forever. Are knights climbing your nose hairs to rescue princesses? No nose climbing. Do your boulder earrings match your Christmas tree dresses? Do you fluff clouds for pillows and play with roller coasters? Or use Humvees for skates and volcanoes for toasters? Ka-ching. Does your breath set off fire alarms, singe the toe hairs of neighbors? Do your daydreams make headlines in the weekly newspapers? Monster graduates preschool. Speaking of hair, does it grow in not so funny places? Is your tongue tied in knots like messy shoelaces? Do your earlobes hang down like twin floating faces? Do you play baseball with bats who steal all the bases? Do your internal organs glow in the dark a weird putrid yellow, like chunks of rancid fruit cocktails suspended in jello? Is your hide full of holes like moldy Swiss cheese? Have your dance moves caused earthquakes, tidal waves when you sneeze? Yes, I shouted. I'm horrible, it's all true, but I can't help it. It's my nature. It's just what monsters do. If that is the truth, then why the blue face and ridiculous tail? I believe you're just a rude kid whose manners have failed. I wiped off the face paint and tried to unfasten the tail, but the belt buckle just tightened, making it hard to exhale. Then this turned my face greener, and I struggled, making me seem much more of a monster. Growl, growl, I growled, trying to scream. Expert's contraptions lit up and started frenetically flashing as I rolled on the floor, feet kicking, my teeth gnashing. Roar! It's your actions, not words, that give your monsterness away. I've come to the conclusion that you're a monster grade A. He presented a mirror, and I was aghast that I would become. I, Gustav, was truly a monster, supreme, scary, second to none. And now I travel the world in this very nice cage, stomping for crowds who point and clap for me on stage. But I wish I could turn back the clock and remind that rude version of me to mind my manners next time. So parents, if your young one is acting horribly meanish, wrecking the house or looking even slightly greenish, at the back of this book you will happily discover a business card hidden within the inside back cover. Expert provides a discount and a warranty worldwide to each nervous parent whose child is really a monster inside. And children, I warn you, be careful, avoid excuses and lies, for there's always a cage next to me, and just about your size. So you should be ashamed for reading such a horrible book, with such a horrible ending. Well, if you are, you turn the cover inside out, and no one will see that you're reading the book again and again. So it flips around like that. It becomes this really kind of cutesy wootsy book for you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. There's a lot more in this book.